Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the fascinating world of ergonomics. It's also called human factors or human engineering.
That's right.
And why it matters, and hopefully give you, the listeners, some practical takeaways that you can use in your everyday life.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a really comprehensive document here. It covers the definition, history, types of ergonomics, all sorts of influencing factors. We've got some specific issues like computer eye strain, varicose veins, and even looks like we've got some stuff on proper sitting postures and preventative exercises. So should be a good one.
So, okay, let's start with the basics. What exactly is ergonomics?
Ergonomics is all about designing things to fit people, whether it's our jobs, the tools we use, or even the environments we work in.
Okay.
The word itself actually comes from the Greek words for work and laws.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really about studying how humans interact with the different elements of a system, like at work, and then using that knowledge to optimize things. Like, how can we make this job safer, more efficient, more comfortable for the person doing it? The International Ergonomics Association, they define it as the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interactions among humans and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies theory, principles, data, and methods to design in order to optimize human well-being and overall system performance.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But I think I get the gist. It's about making things work better for us humans.
Exactly.
So this isn't some brand new concept, right? I mean, people have been working for centuries.
You're absolutely right. Well, the term ergonomics itself was coined relatively recently, like mid-20th century, I think 1949, by a British scientist.
Okay.
The concept has been around for much longer.
Makes sense.
But it really took off after World War II. A lot of the initial focus was on improving military equipment.
Yeah.
Making it easier and safer for soldiers to use. But what's really cool is how it's expanded from there, from those early applications to basically every aspect of our lives.
That is pretty interesting. I mean, I never really thought about it that way. So you mentioned different types of ergonomics. The material you sent breaks it down into a few main categories. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got three main types. First up is physical ergonomics. This is the one that most people probably think of first. It's all about the body's responses to physical demands. So think posture, lifting, repetitive movements, that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Then you've got cognitive ergonomics, which focuses on the mental processes involved in human system interactions.
Oh, yeah.
So things like perception, memory, attention, decision-making. Like if you've ever struggled to figure out how to use a complicated piece of software or felt overwhelmed by information overload.
All the time.
That's cognitive ergonomics in action. And then the third type is organizational ergonomics, which is about optimizing socio-technical systems. So that includes stuff like work design, task allocation, communication schedules, teamwork, really the bigger picture stuff.
So it's really about the whole system, not just the individual person, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now let's get practical. What are some things that can really influence how ergonomics plays out in real life? Like, what are some of those factors we should be thinking about?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that can influence ergonomics. So you've got, of course, individual factors like age, gender, physical condition, even cultural background can play a role. Then you've got factors related to the equipment itself, like its design, how well it's maintained, how it's used. The workplace environment is a big one. Lighting, noise, temperature, all that can affect comfort and productivity. And then, of course, the way the job itself is designed, how much variety there is, the pace of work, all of that's going to impact ergonomic outcomes.
Right. So it's not just about buying an ergonomic chair. It's about so much more.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about something that I think a lot of our listeners can relate to. Computer eye strain. We're all spending so much time looking at screens these days. What can we do to prevent that?
Oh, that's such a big one, yeah. Prolonged screen time can definitely lead to eye strain, fatigue, headaches. It can even mess with your sleep.
Yeah, I've definitely felt that.
Some simple things you can do, though. The first thing is to remember to blink. Sounds silly, but when we stare at screens, we tend to blink less.
Oh, yeah.
So make a conscious effort to blink more frequently. Also, try the 20-20-20 rule. every 20 minutes, look away from your screen at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. 20. I can remember that.
Yeah, it's a good one. And also make sure your screen is about an arm's length away and that the top of the screen's roughly at eye level.
Okay, good tips.
Go
Now,
ahead.
what about varicose veins? What are those exactly? I know they can be painful.
Yeah, varicose veins are those enlarged, twisted veins you sometimes see, usually in the legs.
Right.
They happen when the valves in the veins that are supposed to help blood flow back to the heart, they weaken, and blood starts to pool in the veins, making them swell. Prolonged sitting or standing can make them worse, and symptoms can range from just, aching and heaviness to swelling, itching, even skin ulcers in some cases. It's actually something kind of unique to us humans. Being upright all the time puts extra pressure on those leg veins.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. Okay. Now, let's talk about muscle fatigue. You know that feeling of just being totally wiped out after a long day or even after like a workout?
Yeah.
What's the science behind that?
Muscle fatigue. Oh, yeah. That's basically what happens when your muscles can't perform at their normal level anymore because they've been working too hard. It's like they're temporarily exhausted.
Yeah.
It can be caused by a lot of different things. Sustained physical effort, obviously, but also things like poor posture, repetitive motions, even stress can contribute.
Interesting.
Now, there are actually different types of fatigue, too. You've got mental fatigue, which is that feeling of mental drain after, intense concentration. Then sensory fatigue, which is often caused by overstimulation, think loud noises or bright lights for a long time. Then there's emotional fatigue, which can come from stress or burnout. And of course, the one we're probably most familiar with is physical fatigue. Even within physical fatigue, you've got different types depending on which muscles are involved and what kind of work they're doing.
It makes sense. So is there anything we can do to prevent or reduce muscle fatigue?
Yeah.
Besides just, taking a break?
Yeah, for sure. Staying hydrated is huge. Dehydration can definitely contribute to fatigue.
Okay, good reminder.
And then, of course, regular exercise can help build strength and endurance, which means your muscles can handle more before they get tired.
Right. So what about posture and lifting heavy objects? Those seem like pretty important things to get right from an ergonomics perspective.
Absolutely. Those are fundamental. When it comes to sitting, the key is to avoid slouching and make sure you have good back support. Keep your feet flat on the floor or use a footrest if needed. For lifting, it's all about using proper technique. Plan the lift before you start. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. Bend at the knees, not the waist. Keep your back straight and lift with your legs, not your back.
Got it. Lift with your legs, not your back.
Exactly. And never be afraid to ask for help or use lifting aids if you need them.
Good advice. So what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive into ergonomics?
I think the key message here is that ergonomics is all about creating a world that works better for us humans. Whether it's our workplaces, our homes, the products we use every day, even just the way we move and sit. By understanding these principles, we can make small changes that can have a huge impact on our health, comfort, and overall well-being.
Well said. This deep dive has really opened my eyes to how much the design of our everyday environments affects us and makes me think, as technology keeps evolving, how will ergonomics need to adapt to make sure we're still designing things with human needs at the forefront? It's definitely something to ponder. Thanks for diving deep with us.